Hello, everyone. We are late to the party today, but welcome, welcome, welcome in, y'all. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful Saturday. We've got tornadoes on the ground. We've got tornadoes everywhere. We've got severe weather everywhere today. That is going to be the theme for tonight here. We got severe weather across the Midwest, the upper plains today. Starting with a tornado warning here in Clear Lake, South Dakota. This will be crossing into Minnesota here in the next few minutes. This is an observed violent tornado in progress here. There's actually some storm chasers that are on this here. This may have actually already weakened prior to the live stream starting here. We can kind of already start to see that here. But regardless of that, observed tornado in progress here for Clear Lake, South Dakota. Very large tornado that was in progress here just a few moments ago here. This is going to be for Duell County here in eastern portions of South Dakota. Once again, this will be crossing into Minnesota here, moving towards Granite Falls here in the next little bit. Outside of that observed tornado warning, we've got another tornado warning back over here just east of Rapid City, South Dakota, where we've had kind of some on and off tornado potential with this storm over here. Hasn't really produced a necessarily tornado. You can see that hook echo feature on the eastern side of that warning box here. Probably will end up getting a new warning here in the next few minutes, really at any point here. So those are our two tornado warnings here. Once again, that's going to be for the northern side of Quinn here in South Dakota as well. We've got Pennington County here as well. So we're going to basically, guys, do some severe weather coverage here for the next little bit, kind of talk about some things. The biggest thing that I also want to advocate, we got to talk about the tropics too tonight. We have our second tropical depression of the year in the Atlantic Ocean here. This is expected to become Tropical Storm Barry by either overnight tonight or by tomorrow afternoon. So this is going to be something we talk about a lot in stream tonight, as well as the severe weather. We're also going to be watching the potential for a significant storm tropical system to potentially impact the United States going into the 4th of July holiday next weekend and into the following week. So the National Hurricane Center doesn't have anything in this area yet, but we'll kind of talk about that in the later on in the stream as well. So I'm going to get back to that tornado warning here. Just want to give you guys a brief overrun of kind of what the game plan is for today. Like I said, observed tornado in progress here right now in Clear Lake. It does look to be that this tornado has lifted potentially from what I'm seeing. If I've got actually, let me do it this way here. Hold on just one second. Let me double checky. This will be crossing into Minnesota here in the next few moments. Where is... Here we go. Actually be able to see this storm here in just a few moments. I can't see it on that camera. Yeah, so we're going to watch this tornadic storm as it crosses into Minnesota. I got a couple cameras in this area that'll be able to kind of show what's happening. What's up, Manders? But regardless of that, this was a violent tornado a few moments ago, guys. We had a pretty significant velocity scan with this thing. Might end up going through some potential recycle here. Let's go back and take a look. Yeah, I'm not seeing a correlation coefficient on this anymore here. It does still have some pretty decent rotation. So this is going to be between... what is that, Altamont and Clear Lake. So between the two populations here, we've got about 2,000 people that are in between this here in both of those areas. Clear Lake has about 2,000 people, roughly population-wise. So something we're going to have to watch here as we progress eastward. Thank you guys for the follows. I do appreciate it. If you guys will do me the biggest of favors and tap the screen, I do appreciate it very, very, very much. Hit the follow button if you guys have not. Like I said, we'll be on here covering for a little bit of time tonight. Don't know how long that'll be. I do want to briefly run over to our watches that we currently have right now. We've got a lot of watches out. This is the oldest watch. This is out till 11 p.m. Central Time. We got Western Minnesota, Eastern North Dakota here, Fargo, Grand Forks, severe thunderstorm watch till 11 p.m. Central Time for low-end tornado threat, mostly wind and mostly hail with this threat here. Although we can't rule out a couple isolated tornadoes with that watch box there. The newest severe thunderstorm watch over here for southwestern portions of South Dakota. This is going to be for wind and for hail with a low-end tornado threat. Winds could exceed 80 miles per hour with a 3-inch hail ratio diameter here as well. So something we're going to have to watch out with that. Clearly a tornado possible with that. And then our newest watch here with that tornado watch. This is just to the west of Minneapolis. I do think Minneapolis will personally be in an extended tornado watch as this cluster of storms grows upscale and works its way toward Minneapolis, Minnesota. So Minneapolis, you guys are going to be in for a pretty long night tonight here as we expect a pretty decent amount of wind, hail, and possibly a couple tornadoes headed your way closer to the overnight hours, probably around the 11 o'clock to midnight time frame is kind of my thought process on that as of right now. Redwood Falls, you'd be in there. St. Cloud, you'd be in there. So this little cluster of storms here will be progressing eastward as the evening continues to work its way on. I need to get my handy-dandy pinned app here pulled up. No, Georgia's going to be fine. I'm not expecting anything in Georgia today. If you're anywhere else but the Midwest, you're going to be fine. Yep, so this little cluster of storms will be progressing eastward is what we're going to be watching for here in Minnesota. Yes, this is Minnesota, correcto. But this tornado watch is out until 1 a.m. Central Time. We've got a couple tornadoes possible. Wouldn't even rule out an intense tornado with the parameters we have for tonight. We've also got the threat for 80-mile-per-hour winds and 3-inch diameter hail in that watch box. And like I said, really shocked that the Storm Prediction Center did not upgrade to an enhanced risk. So they may upgrade once again to a last-minute level 3 enhanced risk for this area.
New information.
In about an hour when they do their update. We'll see what they do with that. Will be interesting. But yeah. We'll see.
A new radar-indicated tornado warning has been issued.
Let's get back to that new tornado warning that we just got here. And this is an extension. It's still an observed extension here.
A new observed tornado warning has been issued.
That is what I was waiting for. So, all right. So this is going to be a new tornado warning, guys, for Clear Lake and Altamont.
New information. This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
Yep, so once again, this is going to be a tornado warning, an observed tornado warning here for Gary, Clear Lake, and Altamont here in eastern South Dakota, getting ready to cross into Minnesota. So once again, still officially on the ground here. I'm just not seeing the rotation quite too well with this anymore. Where it was coming into Altamont. It looks like it fell apart, so this warning might be just a little bit off in terms of the timing there. And then we have that brand new tornado warning. Oh yeah, here's the new tornado warning in Minnesota. This is going to be just north of Benson, Minnesota. So this line of storms, this cluster of storms, it's kind of growing upscale, is going to be working its way towards Minneapolis over the next couple of hours. This will be a tornadic line. This will be a damaging wind threat, potentially producing winds up to 90 miles per hour, as well as a large hail threat. So Manders, Nat, Shelly, Benelli, thank you guys for the heart me's. I do appreciate y'all, as always, for hopping in. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Justin, what is up? Good to see you. We got a lot to talk about tonight, guys. I'm sorry the live was so late. Me and Ro were out eating dinner. We were getting stuff done, getting stuff ready for y'all that don't know. We're getting ready to leave to go on vacation here in a couple of days. We will be gone from Wednesday all the way to next Monday. So if anything weather-related happens, you might get a sneak preview. You might get a brief video on my phone, kind of giving you guys an update, but there will not be any live streams or any of that for that 5-day period. So there will be no Mesomat. I will be non-existing, at least trying to non-exist. We'll see how well that works out. But anyways, half of my weather team says they are not going to allow me to stream or do anything weather-related while I'm on vacation. So we'll see about that. But anyways, I'm excited. It'll be fun. It'll be lots of fun. All right, so yeah, so the Clear Lake storm is still observed from what we are seeing right now. Still got some pretty decent, it's got some pretty decent rotation on it here. Definitely could be a new funnel cloud, could definitely be in progress. I want to watch the one up here north of Marietta as well, going into Minnesota, and then we have that tornado warning up here near Clontarf, north of Benson. Let me see if I can get a visual on this one. We do have cameras in this area. Might be able to snag a photo of what this looks like. Not on that one. Yeah, guys, make sure you let my weather team do the updates in chat. No disrespect to anybody, but that's kind of how we let things roll while we're on stream. So just kind of a heads up there. Yeah, this camera sucks. I can't see nothing on that one, so never mind. Will the tornado watch be expanded? Yes, it more than likely will be. I expect it to be well expanded into Wisconsin through the overnight hours tonight. So we will be watching that very, very closely for you guys there. But once again, tornado warning in Clontarf. Observed tornadoes still in the Clear Lake area here in South Dakota. And then they did drop the one that was down here in the South Dakota area, or the southern portions of South Dakota. Still got some pretty strong outflow winds with this here. So this could be producing damaging winds up to 80 miles per hour, potentially, at least wind gust-wise. Sustained winds may be between 60 and 70 with this here, with those gusts. But other than that, I'm not seeing a lot of rotation in terms of like tornado potential with this right now. But it does have that curvature, so it wouldn't take much to get this thing going in the environment that we have out in front of this. So we need to watch this Torpos severe thunderstorm warning, ping pong ball size hail, 70 mile per hour winds, considerable threat tag here for Hacken County,
a new
Jackson
considerable
County,
severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
We're going to have to continue to watch this storm as this progresses eastward. What is up, Evan? Good to see you.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
Got a couple severe thunderstorm warnings down south. Got a warning up in Fargo for 1-inch hail.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
So we'll continue to watch that. Yeah, our violent tornado parameters are
New
picking
information.
up too. So
This severe
we're gonna have to
thunderstorm warning
watch
has been
those.
updated.
See if we can get a new her run in.
New information. This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
The future cast is so weird with this line of storms developing too. It's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds.
New information. This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
Yeah, we're going to keep watching this here. And then, like I said, we have that tornado warning up in Clontarf. So welcome into the stream, guys. Hope you guys are all doing well today. Like I said, we'll be on here for a little bit doing some weather coverage. We've got to talk tropics at some point, guys. We are about to have our second named storm of the year here tomorrow. Tropical Storm Barry will be forming overnight tonight down in the Gulf. That is expected to make landfall in Mexico tomorrow. And then we've got to watch close to home. For any of y'all that have probably not seen this yet, we are watching very, very closely the chance for a close to home tropical system late next week here, where we could see some impacts on the 4th of July and even past that point going into Florida, going along the Gulf Coast as far as Louisiana. Some of the models are even being as aggressive as showing a hurricane next week. I don't think that's going to happen. There's probably going to be people that post that stuff. You guys know how that works. There's people out there that'll post the first things that they get, have no idea how the weather world works, and they scare people. So we'll kind of talk in depth on all of that here going into later on in the stream for next week. But I do want to hit on that before we get off tonight. There will be updates on throughout the weekend as well, and throughout the week next week going about that as well. So sadly, if anything does happen next week, I won't be able to cover it. So that's going to suck on my end of things, but I can't be here for every weather event, sadly. That's what sucks. We've also got severe weather tomorrow and Monday, but it'll be very low end threats. Today will probably be our last big tornado day for quite some time. I don't see really any threats for significant tornado threats in the future, at least as of right now. There will be a wind and a hail threat across the Midwest tomorrow. We'll move this into the Ohio River Valley on Monday, possibly some severe weather on the East Coast on Tuesday, and then we should be out of severe weather from like day 4 through day 8. So that'll be good news as well. That's at least the game plan from what SPC has mentioned. So, we'll keep you guys updated on that. Still showing some rotation down here in Clear Lake, so that's what we are currently watching right now. If you are in this tornado warning here in Duell County here, you need to be making sure you're in your safe places, please, as this is still potentially in progress. I don't think it is in progress, but we'll just kind of wait for the warning to kind of change. Wow, we have 7,000 CAPE in eastern portions of South Dakota right now and western Minnesota. So the instability out there is just ridiculous. Instability is not a problem for today whatsoever. Hasn't ever been a problem in the last couple of months, but ridiculous amount of energy out there for these storms to be eaten off of. I think most of Minnesota at the end of the day will get part of this line of storms that's going to be coming in here. The problem is going to be, is it going to be tornadic? And I do think it will, which is going to be an issue. Here's just kind of like a rough estimate of what we could be seeing over the next couple of hours here. I'll kind of just play this out so you guys can see. Maybe it'll load. There we go. So here's a rough estimate. Take this with a grain of salt. You guys know how this works, but here's what we would be looking at: 11 p.m., midnight. Most of Minnesota getting in on this around midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. This is going to be what's really interesting to watch, is if this line of storms is in fact ongoing.
New
and this is what the models have. Potentially doesn't mean it's going to come to fruition. We're going to have to watch for QLCS tornado spin-ups in this whole entire line. We'll have some shear
radar indicated tornado
in a different direction,
has been
allowing for that to happen, and they just warned that other storm. So we'll talk more on this as this progresses here. We have 3 tornado warnings heading into Minnesota, guys. So this line is already getting itself together pretty quickly here. Brand new tornado warning here, as I was mentioning earlier, for Madison and Marietta, Minnesota here. If you were in this warning, please be in your safe place, guys. This includes, what is that, Laquie Parle County, Manders. I'm going to butcher that one so bad, I'm not even going to try the county. That one sucks. So I'm not even going to give that a whirl. But regardless of that, very strong rotation with this storm. Just east of Marietta here, headed towards Madison. So if you were in this area, guys, please, please be in your safe place. I beg of that. Have to watch this storm and see if it drops anything. We got you guys covered. If you have storm anxiety, we got you guys. We are covering the Midwest tonight, guys. Krista, so there's only one official Radar Omega app. That's the one that I use. It's I think it's about an $8 buy on your phone, and then you have to have the subscription with it. So it's officially just Radar Omega.
New information. This considerable severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
Just a heads up to you guys as well that are in chat that are asking questions. I've got my weather team in here answering y'all's questions, so make sure you guys are paying attention to chat because I can't answer every question verbally. So just be making sure y'all are paying attention. They're going to give y'all the same exact answer that I'm going to give you guys. They are trained and taught what to do in streams, so they know what they're doing. So just please respect their answers because we're going to be just keeping an eye on the warnings tonight. That is the goal. I almost want to watch that northern portion up here near Ortonville potentially for some rotation as well. The northern one up here also could be potentially doing something interesting as well. Thank you guys for taking care of that. We get a lot of those spams in here too. It's annoying. Okay.
New information. This considerable severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
I really wish we could just get a day where we don't have severe weather ongoing and we can just get on here and talk about weather that's not actually happening in real time, that we can talk about it more. Because there's so much stuff I want to go over with you guys in terms of what's going to be happening with our tropical weather. It's so interesting. It's crazy. Never can catch a break from the severe weather. Got some very strong wind gusts. I would not be ruling out potentially some 80s in here, 90s.
This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
Yeah, this is producing potentially up to 90-mile-an-hour wind gust. This is actually kind of crazy.
New information.
Why this has not been upgraded to at least 80 is also kind of shocking to me a little bit here. This is over back in South Dakota, Phillips, South Dakota, Kodak. We get a watch for, or Kadoka, I guess is how you pronounce that. Where's the cat at? She is not in the room right now. Not in the room. The software I'm using right now is Radar Omega. I also go back and forth between WSV3, so I use different software. Yeah, this is just producing some gargantuan hail. We need to take a look at this for just a quick second. I'm actually curious. Oh yeah, this is at least producing 3-inch diameter hail. At least almost 3 inches. So this needs to get a destructive hail warning on it, at least not a wind warning.
New information. This flash flood warning has been updated.
Concerned on this. We're getting gargantuan hail inside the storm, as well as potentially maybe even a tornado, if not destructive winds with this along Interstate 90. Let me see if I can find where this is at. This thing is producing some ridiculous. May have to wait.
A new flash flood warning has been issued.
Yeah, I'll have to wait till this crosses over. Apple Valley, Minnesota, you guys will have your storms well later on. Yeah, so this is at least producing 80, if not 90-mile-an-hour winds. All right, I got you, Stephanie.
A new flash flood warning has been issued.
You said the northern one in South Dakota? The one that's already warned, I'm guessing. Let me double check that message again. I'm gonna guess it's this though. This one. Maybe be the one behind it.
New information. This flash flood warning has been updated.
Yeah, but it lifted. Okay, I gotcha. I gotcha. The middle one. Okay, so the middle one is now observed. Madison and Marietta just went observed. So this tornado is now on the ground here in Madison, Minnesota. This is now an observed tornado in progress south of Bellingham.
A new severe thunderstorm warning
So
has
this
been
is on the
issued.
ground doing damage here. If you are in this area here, please be seeking shelter, guys. North Dakota is good right now. You guys don't have other than Fargo.
New information. This tornado warning has been updated.
Let's see if we got a correlation on this. Might be a CC embedded within this too, but like I said, this tornado is on the ground. It is doing damage. If we could get a damn visual on this, it'd be great, but we can't. Interesting.
New information. This severe thunderstorm
Yeah, Fargo,
warning
you're in a
has
severe
been
thunderstorm
updated.
warning for a 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. You're okay. You guys are okay up there. This is headed towards Appleton, potentially. Appleton slash Cerro Gordo. So that's going to be our strongest storm as of right now. All right, let's go back CC on this. Yeah, I can't tell what this is doing. It's still a little far away here. Thank you guys for the gifts. I appreciate it, by the way. Should be able to get a view on this soon. All right. So once again, guys, if you're new to the channel, we do cover tornado warnings first. I've got the weather team in here answering questions for elsewhere. I'll have to answer everybody else's questions later on in stream when we don't have tornadoes that are on the ground. That's the most priority as of right now. So once again, 2 observed tornadoes still in progress here. Clear Lake, Altamont, Gary, South Dakota, and then Madison, Marietta, Minnesota. Also, Sarah, thank you for the auto renewal subscription. I appreciate it. Okay. Oh, we got you, Colton. Absolutely, bud. Absolutely. Yeah, so this has got some pretty ridiculous rotation on it. The one in Madison here is pretty impressive. And then the one that was down here in Clear Lake doesn't look super impressive anymore. Yeah, this is very impressive. I would not be shocked to see this be doing some crazy damage here at some point here soon. Let me get kind of a timeline on this. Get about 2,000 people in the path of this, at least headed east. That thing's just cranking. The one down in Gary also still very impressive as well. Yeah, guys, I'm not going to check risk zone, or I'm not going to check areas that don't have any risks today, okay? If you're not in Minnesota, South Dakota, North Dakota, or northern Nebraska, you're okay
warning
for today.
Has been updated.
Kansas City, Missouri will be in a risk for tomorrow. We'll talk more about that later. Yeah, Vince is on the one in Madison. I saw that. All right, we do got a brand new tornado warning, guys, for the east side of Gary going into Minnesota here in Canby. Or Canby. We got to watch this because this heads towards Granite Falls, which is populated. These storms are rapidly growing upscale, headed towards Minneapolis, Minnesota.
A new radar indicated tornado warning has been issued.
Minnesota, guys. Minnesota. Yep.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued. Ohio's fine, guys. There's nothing in Ohio today. All right, so we got lots of these warnings. So they did drop the tornado warning that was up in the Benson area. So that is no longer there. Severe thunderstorm warning to accompany that. Still watching that nasty storm to the west there. We're really just watching Minnesota at this point. Severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
Because this line of storms will be going east. All right, we're going to stay focused here on Minnesota. Yeah, so Minneapolis, your storms will be there in about 2-3 hours. That's kind of the thought process.
We'll be watching here for you guys. Things could get pretty dicey later on. Excuse me. Yep, there's a Madison, Minnesota as well. Yep. Yippers. Yeah, both of these storms still got some pretty decent rotation on them, so they will stay tornado warned. I need to invest in another radar site for these areas. Jeez. Round 3 for you, Brandy. Yeah, your storms will be well into the morning hours, though. That's the biggest thing. That'll be well into the morning hours.
New information. This considerable severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
Oh, they finally updated it to tennis ball size hail. This storm could be a beast if it becomes tornadic again. I mean, this is some sick inflow and sick outflow. This could be a monster tornado if this were to get going. Not be a good ideal situation. But the good thing is right now is this is still elevated. Producing some tennis ball size hail, though. Huge hail out of that storm. And the problem, too, is it is producing an outflow boundary, so if it can recycle its outflow boundary,
New information.
We'll
this severe thunderstorm warning
have an even bigger
has been
problem.
Updated.
You got a brand new tornado watch?
New information. This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
Interesting. I want to pop over to this mesoscale discussion that just came out.
A new flash flood warning has been issued.
They're going to upgrade to an enhanced risk, I think, in a minute. They're going to have to upgrade to an enhanced. So here's the mesoscale that just came out. This is for western and central Minnesota. The tornado threat is likely to continue increasing early this evening. A strong tornado is possible. So that's interesting. It says several maturing supercells pose an increasing risk for tornadoes this evening across far eastern South Dakota into western Minnesota. A strong tornado is also possible. That's EF2+. Early this evening, several supercells have rapidly organized in the vicinity of the Minnesota-South Dakota border across the Tornado Watch 474. The southernmost of these cells in Duval County, South Dakota, has recently become tornadic, as observed from video streams and storm reports. As these supercells continue to mature and move east along a broad warm frontal zone, they will continue to interact with a strong low-level shear of 0 to 1 kilometers of SRH of 200 plus m squared per second squared. Observed from the MPX and FSD VADs with large buoyancy of MLK 4,000 joules per kilogram or greater. Also in place, the environment remains very supportive of supercells and tornadoes, some of which could be strong given observed STP values of 2 and 3. The tornado threat will remain highest with discrete, semi-discrete supercells. Some upscale growth remains possible later this evening, which could begin to limit the tornado threat. For the time being, a more favorable storm mode environment suggests that for tornadoes is likely to increase across eastern South Dakota and western Minnesota. So we love that. Love that, love that, love that. Guys, don't spam the chat. You get muted. Des Moines, Iowa is going to be fine. We're not expecting anything in Des Moines, Iowa tonight. You guys are good. All right. So, once again, we are watching these tornado warnings as they creep closer and closer eastward here. Very close eastward. Yeah, we'll see where they decide to put the risk zone if they add an enhanced. All right. Yeah, Minneapolis will get their watch in the next probably hour or two as these storms get closer. It's typically they typically wait for I think it's there's a certain radius. I think it's within like a 50 75 mile radius before they issue a watch. So we'll see. Ow. Katie, also thank you for the bouncing speakers. I do appreciate the gift, by the way. Thank you, thank you. Yep, so once again, guys, this is Minnesota.
New information, this severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
Yep, so these storms are moving about east about 35 miles an hour, maybe 40 if they're moving it quicker. Very slow movement today. So like I said, until these storms can grow upscale, we'll have supercells.
New information, this severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
It's still a severe thunderstorm warning up to the north. Hold on, y'all.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued. A new radar-indicated tornado warning has been issued. A new radar-indicated tornado warning has been issued. A new flash flood warning has been issued. A new flash flood
Alright, guys, I'm
warning has
back.
been issued.
All right, we did get a brand new tornado warning headed towards Benson, so we're going to watch that.
A new radar-indicated tornado
All
warning
right, that's
has
that new
been
tornado
issued.
warning.
Jenny purred. Y'all hear this cat? Let's go if you're coming in. Jesus Louise. Y'all heard her. She just scratches up the door whenever she wants to come in. Hold on one sec, y'all. Okay, sorry, Austin. I'm doing something here. Okay. Weather team, check that Discord message. We're not going to be on stream too much longer, guys. We've got to get some stuff done, and I've got to get Hazel to bed as well here pretty soon. So we'll cover here for just a little bit longer. I really wanted to get on here and get an update. Today's stream was supposed to be an update on the tropics, so we're going to talk tropics here in just a few minutes. Give you guys that information here. If you are in Minnesota, I'll give you guys a timeline on everything here in just a few minutes.
and then we'll kind of go from there. So we're not. I will give you guys some good news. We're not expecting, like I said, a tornado outbreak or anything tonight across Minnesota or anywhere else. The biggest thing that we're going to be watching out for in Minnesota tonight is going to be the damaging wind threat, with winds could exceed 80 miles per hour, the hail threat, and then there will be a tornado threat. But hopefully these storms can upscale grow pretty quickly to where we don't have to worry too much about a tornado threat.
New information.
So that'll
This
be
severe
the biggest
thunderstorm warning has
thing
been
to be looking out for, is that. So, once again, just to let you guys know, for all of y'all that do watch me regularly as well, I will not have any more weather coverage streams until after we get back from vacation next Monday. So not this coming Monday, the next Monday. So I'll have some update streams kind of talking about some things probably tomorrow, probably Monday, probably Tuesday. Once we leave on Wednesday, I will not be, what's the word I'm trying to think of here? I'll lose my mind for a second. We will be back until the following Monday on July 7th. So there won't be any weather streams. There won't be any videos for that 6 days that we are gone. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up. If you guys need weather updates, Connor's Climate Corner, both on YouTube and on TikTok, we'll have those updates for you guys, for anybody that needs that weather coverage. So he'll be doing that still. That's a bit of plans. So we've still got these 3 tornado warnings. All of them are in effect for the next 23 minutes. They are all radar indicated. None of them are observed. Outside of that, we also have that newer tornado warning that got issued back here in South Dakota, that storm that we were watching for earlier. Excuse me, this has had a known history of producing a tornado. Southeast here, this is moving out of Kadoka, moving southeast here towards the White River area and Norris area. So if you're in this warning, please be in your safe place. While we've got these warnings, I know we've got warnings, guys. I've got to talk tropics here so we can just kind of get you guys updated. If there's anybody, I've actually had a couple people message me that are actually visiting Mexico for vacation for the 4th. I've actually got friends and family that, or not family, but friends that do that. We are watching what is Tropical Depression 2. This is expected to become Tropical Storm Barry at the end of the night, if not by tomorrow morning. This will be sustained at about 40-45 mile per hour winds. It's not going to have a lot of time to develop, but the crazy thing about it is this is going to be our second named storm of the Atlantic season within a 5 to 7 day period. So we are going to have to watch this. This will bring some heavy rainfall. I'll kind of show you guys what this looks like briefly here. Let me get out of that. This is what our satellite imagery is looking like right now. So not a lot of prettiness, not a symmetrical storm or anything like that. You can kind of see where the bulk of that convection is at. This will look a little bit different tomorrow once overnight happens and once this storm kind of strengthens a little bit. But this will make landfall in Mexico as a tropical storm. The biggest thing that we've got to watch going into next week, though, is going to be up here. The National Hurricane Center does not have an outlined area yet for the East Coast or for the western side of Florida here. We are going to have to watch. So a lot of the times this year, and if you guys have kind of paid attention to my videos in the past, we get what's called stalled out fronts that kind of just sit and they don't move. We're going to have days and days of rainfall in the panhandle of Florida, in Florida in general, and down in the deep south over this next week. And what that rain is going to do is it's going to accumulate. And eventually at some point going into the later half of next week, we're going to have a bunch of thunderstorms, a bunch of convection kind of unorganized. There is going to be an attempt at a surface low to develop somewhere in this vicinity as we get closer to the 4th of July next week. And it's going to be very important that we watch this low because some of our model runs, the GFS is the only one, the European is doing normal stuff with this. It's showing some type of tropical depression or tropical storm next week. But we could actually have our first landfalling named storm potentially at the end of next weekend, going toward the 5th and 6th and 7th of July, somewhere in this region if this were to develop. The GFS model is the most boldest right now. It's doing what it typically does 7+ days out. It's showing a Category 2 or Category 3 hurricane slamming Louisiana next Monday, and I'm not a fan of that, and I don't buy that crap because it's over 7 days out, and we don't even have an investor, let alone a named storm to even go off of. So I want you guys, the biggest thing to ask of you guys in chat is if you do trust me with your weather coverage, hopefully you do, don't buy or listen to any of these other people that are going to be posting and talking about a major hurricane coming to Louisiana, because we have no idea what that's going to look like until later into next week. I will let you guys know, like I said, if something does happen next week, I will not be able to cover nor do that, and I hate to say that, but bad timing, it happens. Storms just absolutely hate me sometimes. I won't be able to cover next week if that happens. But you guys will have Connor, like I said, to watch. He'll definitely be covering this. He's a hurricane dude. He loves to cover this stuff, so he'll be covering that for anybody that needs that coverage next week if that were to happen. But we'll be watching this. I'll be giving updates throughout Wednesday. If something ridiculously crazy happens, I'll do some on-the-road updates with you guys, video form updates going through next weekend. But we won't be able to cover our first potential storm if it does, in fact, develop next week. So just something to be mindful of. Nobody needs to freak out or panic yet or anything like that. If we start to see the signs of something increasing, we'll let you guys know. But I wanted to give you guys a heads up on that now before y'all start to see people flood the social media pages with, oh, a Cat 3 hurricane's coming to Louisiana. Oh, a Cat 5's coming to Florida. We have no idea what we're talking about. Yeah, exactly right. You don't know what you're talking about. So just be mindful of that, guys. Something we'll watch going into next week. Kind of just give you guys a rough estimate here. The National Hurricane Center does have this forecast, like I said, to become a tropical storm by tomorrow morning, if not by midday, making landfall in Mexico by tomorrow night into your Monday morning. Here's a rough estimate of what we could see for tonight. Let me get the latest guidance up here from our OOZ Her Run. Actually, we'll have to go 23Z because this is not going to show all the way through. So once again, this line of storms is going to grow upscale here. We're going to see a pretty nasty little Boeing line segment with some embedded potential tornadoes going through around Minneapolis, Minnesota, around between about 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. So if you guys are in this area here, you need to be weather aware. You need to have alerts on your phones, know where to go. This is, like I said, not going to be a tornado outbreak. This will more than likely be a big wind event for you guys in terms of the overnight hours here. But this will be out of here by around 2, 3 o'clock in the morning as it'll weaken as it approaches into western Wisconsin here. There still will be some scattered supercells clusters of storms down here in North Dakota, South Dakota, getting into Nebraska. Most of these could be producing some low-end tornado threat. The higher tornado parameters are going to be back here in Minnesota through the overnight hours tonight. Manders will be watching for you, so I'm not, you'll be fine. You know how to read radar too. You should be good. So we'll just kind of see how this progresses through the overnight hours. If for some ridiculously crazy reason we get like a tornado emergency or something crazy happens, I'll get back on stream, but I'm going to have to get off here in just a few minutes, get some stuff taken care of, get Hazel to bed, and kind of get stuff packed and ready to go for our trip. So I really, like I said, before all the severe weather happened, I wanted to get on here and give you guys an update on the tropics. Here's our severe weather risk here for tomorrow. We do have a level 2 slight risk for tomorrow for your Sunday that extends from Marquette, UP, Michigan, all the way down through Wisconsin here. The good thing about tomorrow, guys, there's not a highlighted tornado risk. It doesn't mean the tornado risk is 0. It's less than 2%, but there's not a highlighted tornado risk for tomorrow, which is good. There is a wind threat for tomorrow, 15 and 5%, a hail threat. So tomorrow will mostly be a wind threat. I don't plan on covering tomorrow. It won't need to be covered. It's mostly going to be a wind threat. I'll probably get on here to do an update with you guys tomorrow at some point throughout the day to kind of just talk about things. We go through the day 3 outlook. I'm in a severe weather risk on Monday, as well as some portions of the Ohio River Valley. After we get through Monday, severe weather will probably have one more day on Tuesday. It'll probably be somewhere up here in the mid-Atlantic region. And then going through Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, it does not look to be that we're going to really see any severe weather anywhere in the United States. There could be a brief instance of severe weather somewhere, but it looks like the 4th of July holiday should be pretty nice for most people going into next week here. We'll get back to radar. I think we have an observed tornado again. Yes, Benson is observed. Yes, it is. So this is going to be for Danvers, headed east here. Yep, moving east here towards Benson. Observed tornado in progress once again on the storm. If you were in this warning, please be seeking shelter. Once again, this is going to be for Swift County. So I'm going to stay on here for just a few more minutes, guys, until this update comes out here in just a minute from the Storm Prediction Center. I'll talk about that, and then we'll kind of go from there. I have a feeling... Oh, they did not. Actually, it is already out. Never mind. They did not upgrade to an enhanced risk. They kept it slight. So that is actually interesting.
This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
So the only thing they updated on our risk zone for tonight, this is the last update, is a small 2% tornado risk in South Dakota.
New information.
That is it. So nothing changed, no upgrade, no downgrade, nothing. Everything risk zone-wise has been stayed the same. So we're not going to be seeing any upgrades tonight, which is still quite interesting.
New information. This tornado warning has been updated.
So once again, that tornado is on the ground here, guys. Danvers headed east towards Benson.
New information. This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
So the storm is in progress. You've got 5s and 6s right now, Manders, on STP, so they're pretty decent. But if this storm, those parameters aren't going to matter much if this storm can grow upscale and become a line. If you've got a line of storms coming towards Minneapolis at midnight, it's going to be less tornadic. It'll still have tornadic potential, but it'll be less in terms of strong tornado potential. So I'm not too concerned about it for you guys right now. I think you guys are going to be mostly okay. It'll be the southern portions of Minnesota that really get the whacking, potentially. That sounded really wrong. That's not what I meant, but anyways. So, thank you guys all for the gifts, by the way. I do appreciate it. I do. Once we get back from our vacation, guys, we're gonna be diving right into hurricane season. We're gonna be doing tropical updates every day, regardless if there's a system or not. We're gonna be getting back to doing our nightly weather updates. I want to get all back into that. We've just been all over the place getting stuff ready.
New
And
information.
just kind of been busy a
This
lot.
tornado
So once we
warning
get
has
back
been
on that
updated.
second week of July, y'all will see me every day. You'll see me every night. We'll be getting into this whole summertime pattern, getting y'all ready to go, because we've got a lot of things I think that are going to be changing with our weather pattern as we go into the month of July, especially with the tropics. So it will be very, very interesting to see what happens over the next couple of weeks. So if you live in hurricane-prone areas, I'm going to probably be your best go-to coverage in terms of that. We do wall-to-wall coverage for all tropical system landfalls, hurricane coverage, landfalls, all that, etc., as well as severe weather coverage. This week's just a little bit difficult because we're kind of scrambling all over the place. So I do appreciate y'all that do follow. Make sure if you guys do follow on here as well that you do subscribe to me on YouTube as well. We are also live on YouTube. So it is very much appreciated. All right, I'm going to give it just another minute here, guys. It looks to be that this tornado may actually already be weakening, too, from what we're seeing on velocity. I'll give it just another minute here, and then we're going to wrap things up here. Like I said, if you are in risk zones for tonight, just be weather aware. It looks like Clear Lake might be potentially getting ready to produce another tornado on that storm there. But yeah, if you're out in front of this risk zone, just be mindful, weather aware. St. Clair, not St. Clair, Eau Claire, St. Paul, Minneapolis, Apple Valley, Redwood Falls, all of you guys out in front of this here. This will be where we really see that stronger tornado potential for the next couple of hours before things grow upscale into a line of storms. So that'll be the game plan.
New information. This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
Okay. Alrighty, guys. I'm going to go ahead and wrap stream up. If you are in these risk zones, be safe, be weather aware, guys. Like I said, not expecting anything super, super significant tonight other than a couple tornadoes. Clearly, we're seeing that happen. The wind threat, the hail threat will be across this region for tonight. I'll have an update for you guys back in here tomorrow at some point during the day. I don't know when that'll be, but it'll be at some point. But other than that, y'all stay safe. Y'all stay weather aware. Thank you, weather team guys, for hopping in here for just a little bit. I do appreciate it. And we'll see you guys all back in here again at some point later on. Be safe, y'all.